Hi, everyone. Joe Kehrig, managing broker of Coldwell Banker Real Estate in Danville. And this is the first week of 2021, January 4th. Happy New Year to everyone. And let's hope that the COVID 19 vaccine and businesses can get back open and the economy can be running on all cylinders. Certainly, the real estate market has been very strong as you've been watching these videos. As we've talked about, the lack of supply and the great demand because of the sub 3% interest rates are really driving the market. So let's jump right into the graphs. As you see in San Ramon, now the one thing you will see this week, there hasn't been a lot of changes. Obviously, in most cases, the active properties have gone down, the pending properties have gone down because you didn't see a lot of homes come on the market, and not a lot of buyers out there. The last couple of weeks, obviously, hopefully people were enjoying their holidays. But really, the next couple weeks is really going to what dictates how we get into 2021 because normally the best time of the year, the last 6 or 7 years, has been February, March, April. Because what happens, there's not a lot of people that put their home on the market during November and December. So when the buyers start coming out in February, then you have a lot of demand, but not a lot of supply. So 90% of the appreciation over the last 8 years has happened during that February, March, April. Then normally what happens is there's always more homes after the Easter break, spring break that will come on the market. There's also more buyers that come out. So the key is always the absorption rate after. Well, we have the same situation this year, only because of what's happened with the interest rates being so low and the demand so high as a lot of people moving from urban to our San Ramon Valley to suburban. We have record low number of properties on the market. So we're hitting what would be normally a busy time with a hyper, busy time with the low inventory. So still expect to see multiple offers on, almost any single family home, that has a price fairly, that has a nice backyard, has 4 or 5 bedrooms. Now, condo and townhouses are still stagnant. They are still priced about where they were in 3 years ago, to be frank with you, because a lot of those people moving from urban want the single family home in the space. And a lot of the people in the condos and townhouses here now also want those. So the supply is fine and there's not as much demand, so it's a much more even market. Things are still selling, but obviously more in a normal type situation. So, what can change? What can change this market? Well, there's two things. One is I'm in my 43rd year of professionally selling real estate. That's why I got all these gray hairs. But, so I sit there and my sensible part says, this can't go on forever. But then logically, I look at it and say, okay, well, what's going to stop it? Interest rates historically low. Interest rates broke 14 records in 2020. I mean, that was like 14 lows. So what can change this market around? Well, there's a couple things that I think might help, level things out a little bit. One is we always talk about supply and demand. Drop me any place in the United States, as I've said before, and I can tell you where the market's going just based on, looking at the actives and the pendings, basically the supply and demand. Well, as we get, I think for the next 3 or 4 months, as it's been the last 6 or 7 years, pre-COVID, this market's going to be nuts. It's definitely going to be a seller's market. Now, as we get into late spring, early summer, this is when normally a lot of sellers think about putting their home on the market. They want to move during the summer because of kids and families, and they see the prices are going well. So hopefully we'll get more inventory on the market. And then if interest rates tick up a little bit, if the vaccine is successful for COVID and the economy starts coming around, businesses start opening, you're definitely going to see interest rates maybe tick up a little bit. Now, I talk to people that, they might go up 0.5%. And people will sit there and go, well, geez, 0.5% is that much. Well, 0.5% wasn't much when the interest rates were 7 or 8%. But when they're like 3.5, 2.5, that's like a 20% increase. So if interest rates go up 0.5%, and you're looking at a home right now for $1.5 million, that 0.5% increase decreases your buying power by $250,000, because 0.5% is a high percentage of 2 3/4. So where if you were just affording a 1.5 home, you could only afford a 1.25 home if interest rates go up just 0.5%. So in the spring, if the vaccine is successful, and let's pray that it is, we might see interest rates tick up as the economy picks up a little bit. Not the real estate economy, because that's can't get much hotter than it is now. But the rest of the economy picks up. Businesses start opening. You'll see the Federal Reserve upping the interest rates a little bit. And then if we have more homes come on the market, where we have basically demand is here and supply is here, we might see it evening out a little bit. In best case scenario, it's still going to be a very active market. They're expecting, more sales this year than there's been in decades, as far as where the market is. So definitely, even though there wasn't a lot of inventory on the market last year, we still had a lot of sales, because what was happening, and if you were looking at my graphs every week, the backfilling, there wasn't much inventory, but 10 homes sold, 10 homes came on the market, 10 homes sold, 10 homes came on the market. And gradually, the inventory did cut down a little bit, but there was always a little bit of backfilling on the market. So these graphs won't change a lot, in the last couple of weeks from when you saw them. But look at San Ramon, the city of San Ramon. 34 active properties went up to 37, hence because you saw the pendings going from 75 to 65. So the activity as far as the buying activity has gone down just a little bit. But expect, when we look in the next couple weeks, that active is going to go down and it's going to be more out of whack. This was just like taking a breath because of the holidays. You look at Danville, well, you see Danville, both the active properties, and this is what you're mainly seeing across the board, active properties going down and pending properties going down as, properties are closing. Again, over the last couple weeks of the holidays, not a lot of people thought about putting their home on the market, and not a lot of people thought about buying a home. This is the amazing market. If you remember, if you've been watching my videos, a couple months ago, Blackhawk hit, and I've been professionally selling in Blackhawk for 32 years, and I've sold hundreds of homes in there. And you have a situation where, when the market was slow, there was, when the market was really active and there weren't very many listings, we still had like 50 homes on the market. During the bad part of the market, we could have a couple hundred, 150 to 200 homes on the market in Blackhawk. And if you remember, a couple months ago, there was 22 actives and 22 pendings. And I said, take a look at this, because you might never see it again where there's as many pending properties as there is active properties. Well, I was wrong. Now you can see it stayed exactly the same as last week. So not a lot of activity from a couple weeks ago. 14 pending properties, 8 active. You have almost twice as many pendings in Blackhawk as you do actives. I sent this to my sons, and I sat there and said, take a good look at this, because I don't think you're ever going to see this again. 8 listings in Blackhawk, that's nuts. So anyway, the Blackhawk market is obviously very hot. Same thing you'll see with the Alamo market. The pending stayed basically the same, but the active properties went down, which only makes it worse going into the new year. And the market that's kind of as nuts, because again, the average price is only about $1 million. I never thought I would be saying that the average price is only $1 million in Dublin, but at the same point, they built a lot of great new houses out there. There's a lot more inventory, but look at this, 65. Now the good part is the pending properties went down by 11, but there's only 19 active properties. Now you have to remember, when we talk, not so much in Blackhawk, but when we talk about San Ramon and we talk about Dublin, and I say there's only 19 active properties on the market, it's basically saying that half of those are condo townhouses. So there's probably only about 8 to 10 single family homes in all of Dublin on the market. So this market is just super hot. There's no end in sight with it at all. As far as, sold price to list price, No, no surprise here. Everything again. Now Blackhawk was 99% because again, when the average price that's selling is $2.5–3 million, and it's funny because in Blackhawk, it took a while. A couple years ago, we were selling homes for $2.5 million. It sold in the 90s for $2.5 million. There was just no, you know, appreciation on the upper end homes. Then all of a sudden, a couple months ago, we saw homes $2.5 million getting multiple offers. Matter of fact, I mentioned in one of the videos that we had actually sold a couple of those. Last week, our team basically sold two $4 million plus homes that had both been on the market for almost 2 years each, and they both sold in the same week. So again, it shows you what happens with the market as the market goes up. If prices go up, it starts from the bottom and goes up. So it takes a while before it hits that $2, $3, $4 million range. Well, it's hit that. Now, what will happen is when the market starts to go down, which it will correct at some point, I'm just not quite sure when, it will start from the top and go down. So the upper end homes are affected, the most. So again, if you have any questions at all, please reach out. Everyone's home is a little bit different, every neighborhood, in every city. So again, Joe Kehrig, my cell number is 925-487-6838, or joe.kehrig@cbrealty.com. And if you like these videos and you want to be kept up on a weekly basis, please tap the like and hit the subscribe button, and then click on the bell to receive alerts every time we have a new video. Again, thanks. Here's the 2021. May God bless you, may God bless your family, and may God bless the United States of America.